A very, very, very unique edition of a Facebook Live, I guess you would call it. But yes, this one is probably going to be pretty controversial. I'll be sharing my thoughts on something that a lot of people don't really want to talk about too much. And yes, so let's get into it, shall we? Let's have some fun. If you have any questions on this, I'm going to have my chats open. This is going to be, I don't know how long, we'll figure it out, but it is going to be quite controversial. So stay tuned, stay tuned. But the idea is really simple. You know, I'm seeing a lot of chaos that's happening right now. You're seeing it as well. And, you know, we can contribute it to a lot of things. You know, a lot of people have their thinkings of whose fault it is and why things are happening and what people should be doing about this. But I think we need to really understand the underlying problem that we're seeing in a lot of our communities. And if we just understood how to kind of bring attention to this and bring solutions to this, I think we are going to have a lot better society overall. So my controversial subject is going to be in the form of understanding chaos, to kind of make it simple. Whether it's a young kid that's lost, not really knowing where to turn, somebody that's been abused all their life and now they don't understand what the word love is. There's just a lot of things that are plaguing our society because of this one issue that most people I've yet to hear. All these commentators that are sharing their views and talking about what we should be doing as a society, no one is talking about this. And being that we've got Father's Day coming up, I think there's a perfect time to kind of bring attention to this. Fatherless homes. Yes, fatherless homes. If you guys just looked at the statistics behind that, I don't want to share the statistics now because I think, you know, by the time some of you may be watching this video, it's a lot easier for you to just find the statistics with your own searches. But fatherless homes has been a very, very big effect on a lot of our communities. If we don't have fathers in the home, whether physically or spiritually, well, you should have both, you're going to have a lot of problems, right? We have women that are growing up not understanding love because they don't have a father in the home. They don't have, whether it's a physical father or a spiritual father, they're growing up thinking love is something completely different, and they have to show love in a totally different way. Then you have boys that growing up in a fatherless home, by the time they're 12, 13 years old, they get this macho mentality of I'm the man of the house, and they're just not comprehending in a sense of what it really takes to be a good father. Now, I am not a perfect father. I wouldn't even consider myself a good father. People keep praising me about all this great things that I do. And for me, there's a lot of struggle to being a good father. And I think having a wife the way I do has been the big difference maker, because trust me, I would just be just like all of these chaotic kids if I didn't have the wife instilling into me these things I'm going to share with you right now. I've turned father into an acronym. So there's FATHER, 6 letters in father, and 6 things that is a father we should all be implementing into our communities, whether you're a father of children or you're the father of your city. Think of the ways you can help by implementing these 6 things. I'm going to share with you them right now. So looks like we've got Thibaut Cunningham. You won't lose me. Glad I saw this pop up. About to jump on with my funnel team. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that, Jeff. Posting YouTube video against evil all right way. Love your solution mentality. Yes, indeed. Fathers and mothers are needed. Thank you, random Facebook user. I need you to, I guess, do your permissions on StreamYard if you're on my group watching this. Otherwise, I can't see your face. If you are on my group and you want to have seen your face, just come to my profile. It seems to be working very easily there. So let me share with you what it means to truly be a good father. We're going to talk about being a spiritual father as well. Some of you don't have a father in your home. Some of you are growing up and you've never had that good father to lead you in the right directions. Well, I'm going to show you how to find your spiritual father that can do the exact same thing. All right, so stay with me here. Okay, this is going to be a little different than I normally do it. So first off, we're going to look at F in father. What does that mean? Well, to be a good father, you've got to instill faith. Yes, faith. Faith in your home is going to be the way you get through chaos. It's the way you get through the hard times, the things that you struggle with, the things that are difficult for you. You don't have any other answer than to go to faith. So instilling this at a young age is going to be very, very, very important. Trust me, because they're going to be told in the world when your kids go out there every way and reason why they should not have faith in their lives. So giving them that tool is going to give them a power beyond measure. My friends, trust me, instilling faith is going to be a big factor in their growth to them becoming good fathers and then fathering their neighborhoods or their cities or their communities and really just giving them more from themselves than just being an egotistical, superficial, macho guy that just thinks the world revolves around him. We have too much of that in our society, and I think it's tearing down the fabric of what faith really means, is to humble yourself before God. Humble yourself before your fellow man to help and serve, not to have them serve you. So faith, how do you integrate faith into your life? Well, you've got to look at, I would say, the easiest way to plug in, okay? People say, oh, the Bible, right? Well, the Bible, yes, but where in the Bible, right? That's a big book. That's a book within books within books. So how does that work? Well, there's one book in there I think you guys can start with that will work very well. Start with the book of Proverbs. Read that. It's going to give you the instructions for life. I'm telling you. Every motivational quote that you've been hearing that you guys go share on social media and tag some unknown author. Book of Proverbs, my friend, it's all there. Go there. It will be found. Trust me, it will change your life. So, faith, that's the first one. Now, how do we go about truly being about change? What are we gonna do in our community to instill more faith? Well, you got to show examples of how it works. That's the only way. You got to show examples. I've seen so many times, I've gone to a sermon, I've gone to a motivational speech, I've gone to a seminar, I've gone to an expo, and in just a couple of minutes, one person's story, AKA their testimony, their story changes lives. One person hears it and says, oh, light bulb moment. Wow. Just imagine if we were all to share our testimony on what faith has done for us. This is why when I interview people, I'm constantly asking them, hey, tell me, what does faith mean to you? Mentorship, entrepreneurship. I'm looking at the three things I want them to show me. Show me another example that it works. The only way our society can change from the chaos that we keep going through is examples of success that works, and not for ones that you can't relate to. I try to find people that have been in the darkest of lows. Find those people and get them to share their testimony. Trust me, there's plenty of people that have been on what you would call the great good side of success, and yet you never even knew how far dark they have been through. You'll see a lot of the conversations I have when I interview people is I'll ask them these questions. I'll start getting deep into what they do, and I've gotten people crying on interviews. And I don't say it to be like mean or anything, but it's getting them to be real and authentic is what truly changes lives. Telling people, I was making good money at this job before. And 2008 hit. I lost all my money. I was so broke. Didn't know what to do. So I hired a mentor, got a coach, did this, I did that, and now I'm rich again. You guys want to be rich like me? Stop. That's the stupidest story ever. Like, nobody cares. Everybody was broke in 2008. Well, I mean, not everybody. That was actually my best year when I was getting into me and doing what I was doing. But I'm a little smarter than the average monkeys. I kind of pivot myself well before chaos erupts. So looking at your situation, what they really want to know is what happened at 5 years old that changed your life? What did you have to go through that made you who you are today? That driven person that doesn't say no, that doesn't take no for an answer, that literally will keep showing up, keep serving, keep giving value, keep succeeding while everybody else has an excuse of why they can't. What did you have to go through to get that mentality? That's what people really want to know, because that's how you're going to relate to people. At 5 years old, everyone was doing the same thing. Everyone was having a similar life in most cases. I mean, not most cases, right? We have a lot of people that have different walks of life. But trust me, the ones who are really successful and driven, they've gone through some shit. Trust me. It's very rare you get a nice pampered silver spoon life and you just wake up to just, oh yeah, I'm just driven like a mother chucker. A lot of times it's you having to keep pushing through something that kept telling you no. You got through and you saw it was possible. And now you just have no excuses. There's no fear. People that live in fear is because they can't see an example that can relate to them. As soon as they see an example that can relate to them, fear goes right out the window. They see that it's possible. So let's go to the next one. To be a good father, because we're talking about fatherless homes right here. If you're just jumping in and you're like, what is going on? What are we talking about? Fatherless homes is breaking our society. And nobody's talking about it. I don't know why. It's a solution I think people just don't understand how to bring. I don't know, but I keep seeing this. It's plain as day. It's as simple as walking down the street and seeing rose bushes. It's there, right in front of you. Look at it, see it, and let's bring some solutions. There's 6 simple solutions that if every father, whether you have children or you have a community, you can father that community, you can father children, you can foster, you can adopt. There's so many ways you watching right now, whether a mother or father. Trust me, motherless homes is a whole nother conversation, but today we are talking about fatherless homes. We got Father's Day coming up. And I think there's a lot of men out there that need to change the way they're fathering. I'm just going to put it that way. Let's look at the second method of success. How are we going to activate this? I've made father into an acronym. FATHER. We've talked about F, which is faith. What is our next one? A, attention. What does this mean? Well, us as fathers, and I struggle with all of these. This is something that I am working through as a father. So these are the things that are on my list to check off every time I possibly can to make sure I am paying attention to these methods of how I'm going to help people. Attention. Got to pay attention to your kids, your community, the needs of what people have and what you can provide. Us as men, us as fathers, we are providers, right? We're providers, but most people think they're only so small into thinking I can only provide for my small little family. No, look at what I'm doing, guys. I created a school of business. I've invested in every dollar out of my own pocket, and I give it to the world for free. $0. My gift to the world. I want to provide education and resources to kids that are aging out of foster care, to at-risk youth, to day one entrepreneurs, to people that are just not knowing what to do in the situations that they're coming across. Providing is not just making money to feed your family. That is a given. providing, and paying attention is to give what you know you can do to as many people and as many communities as you can possibly do it, but without taking the attention away from your own family. That's the hard balance. And I see this with entrepreneurs I'm interviewing constantly, is they're saying, Manny, I'm always having to balance that area of spending time with family and growing my business. And a lot of times they're spending too much time here. They want to spend 100% of their effort here. And when they come home, they're like, I'm too tired. I got no time. Da, 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 da. And I've done this myself. I do this constantly. And I have to keep reminding myself, Manny, you can't give 100% here and not give 100% here. So attention is just about giving that same effort you want to give to the things that you're passionate about. Give it to your family just as much. They deserve it. You're doing this all for them, right? Attention. It's super simple. Attention could be just paying attention to what's in your community and what's needed. How can I provide what is needed within my community? And I keep seeing 2 out of 3 of these kids in foster care ending up dead, homeless, or in jail within just 1 year of leaving our system. I need to pay attention to that. I come in the foster care system. They can relate to me. I can tell them my story of going through malnutrition, abuse, neglect, torture. To then saying, look, I've been through that, but I'm on this side now. I can help you come on this side as well. Join me. Go here. Do this. It's really simple. Follow these footsteps. Get yourself a mentor. Entrepreneurship is a vehicle you need to be jumping in, riding in, driving in. And faith. Faith is how you win. So attention. You got to pay attention to what it is that is going on. And this could be, and this is a really good analogy that Caleb Maddox gave, actually. I don't want to say actually, this kid's always giving great advice. But about father. I mean, he's not a father, so that's why I kind of put it that way. But he's been raised by a father that's instilled some really great values in him. And one of the things his dad does is his dad would sit him down, and this is something I need to do. I want to do this. And to be honest, it's something that just not necessarily frightens me, but it's like, I don't know, I struggle with it. I've heard it and I want to do it, and I keep telling myself I'm going to do it, and I don't do it. But you sit down your sons at the end of the day, and you ask them 3 questions, right? What is one thing you really liked that we did today? And what is one thing you really want me to keep doing that we did today? And what is one thing you didn't like that you want to stop doing? It seems so simple, right? But I don't know, maybe I'm afraid of the answers. I don't know. But I haven't done it. I want to do it. But that's something that I think fathers could be doing by paying attention more, right? Talking to your kids, sitting them down. I know as fathers, we just want to be strict. We want to be quick. We want to tell them, do this now. Instead of telling them why, explaining to them in a way that makes it easy. Like my daughter, for example, I've figured her out. I think I have, or at least for her 5-year-old self so far. And what I've noticed is like when she wants something, like, okay, let's say she grabs my tea and she wants a drink of my tea, right? If I try to get it from her, like, hey, get my tea back. She's like, no, give me it. It's like she will not let go. And she will hold on to this thing as hard as she possibly can and not let go. If I try to fight her, she just pulls harder. So what did I do? I paid attention to something I recognized that I could disarm her with, right? If I want something from her, I go, oh, baby, you're so pretty. Give me missiles. Give her love. And all of a sudden, she just handed me the tea every time, whether it's tea, whatever it's anything. She just hands it right over. So I don't know. Thinking of being that real strict dad, I mean, there are times for it, but to integrate love as a disarming tool, it could work. It works very well. You just got to be able to understand, pay attention to what works for your children. I think that's the biggest thing, is what you're kind of needing to understand here. So, all right, let's get into it. Fatherless homes is the topic we are talking about. I know I'm losing friends left and right. It's going from like 25 years to like 15 and then 20. It's hilarious. People are here when I'm talking about, like, ah, man, you're talking about Jesus again. Man, you're talking about, it's good. It's okay. I'll lose whatever I need to lose to get this story out, because I know what the solution is. And it's not taking God out. It's not taking faith out. It's not removing and separating the family bond. Fatherless homes, my friend, we solve this problem. Woo! We are in for some very, very big blessings. So let's go into it. I've talked about faith. I've talked about attention. Let's talk about some of these people. Let's see. Need to become, let's see here, Jeff or Jay, needs to become a need to do instead of a want to do. That's a great response. I like that. I believe in you, Manny. Just do it. Thank you, random Facebook citizen. I appreciate you, whoever you are. Let's see who this, Denise says, you're right about the past reflecting on the future is when my mentor asked me to write my life story that I realized my drive to help parents put their kids through college debt-free began my own experience growing up in a low-income family and having to steal food from able to eat on weekends. Wow, imagine. Powerful, powerful stories. So let's get into it. What is the next thing we need to do to solve the problem of fatherless homes? Well, every man listening to this right now, pay attention. This is for you, all right? I'm not saying I'm the know all of this, but I know if you integrate these 6 things into your life, trust me, it will get better for you, your community, your family. Trust me, just trust me. I'm telling you, it works. It works. T. What does the T in father stand for? Anybody have a guess? What do you guys think T stands for? I want to see you guys' comments. Let's see a couple of guesses and see if anybody can get it right. So we got faith. We have attention. What do you think T? What does fathers need to do that starts with the letter T? I'll give you guys a couple seconds in there to post in your answers. But why we do that? I love the captions in the video, brother. Thank you, Alexis. I appreciate your love there. Thank you. You're right on the money, says Rick Cox. Thank you very much for that. It's possible. I like that, Ryan. I appreciate that. Precious says faith, mentorship, entrepreneurship. That is what will bring long-lasting success and transformation. Thanks, Manny. You're very appreciated, Precious. I appreciate that. Random Facebook user says, yes, the book of Proverbs is all about wisdom for life. Yes, I appreciate that. Anybody? All right, so we have a couple people. They put truth. Random Facebook user says truth. Random Facebook user says time. Time, that's a good one. That's a good one. Might have been covered in attention, though. I don't know. Maybe. Teach. That's a good option. I like that one. It looks like we got 2 options for teach. But no, T is actually trust. Yes, trust. You need to build trust in your family. One of the biggest things I see men falter in is in this area, is trusting their family, trusting in believing in them, trusting that they can do the things that they need to do. When a man can give trust into his family, trust is going to give them the ability to build confidence, the ability to build responsibility, the ability to respect more people in the way that they bring about themselves in life. Trust, my friends, is a very powerful word. And how do you bring in more trust? Well, the man has to take out the ego. Fathers, you got to get rid of that ego, my friends. If you have, here's the one thing I think men lose in trust, okay? Women, very rarely, it's rare, okay? And when you do have this, usually you got to worry about that, right? But now this is rare, okay? If you understand the 5 love languages, okay, by Gary Chapman, it's a book. Man, read that book, okay? Get that book. Somebody put that in the comments. 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. It's a book that changed my life and understanding my wife, all right? Ooh, I'm a rapper now. Here's what this book really got me to understand. How my wife loves me and for how I can actually recognize it. Most men love by physical touch and words of affirmation. right? That's the most of the main two. They go, well, you know, smack my wife in the booty, call her sexy, bam, right? That's how men, that's how they like. Now, that's what a man would want, right? If their wife would come up to him, smack him in the butt and call him sexy, game over. You've just made him the most happiest guy in the world. But women don't do that. They don't love that way. Most of them, I wouldn't say most of them, but a lot of them are going to love with quality time and acts of service, gifts, small things that are just totally different from the man's way of thinking. So you got to understand how to recognize the way your women love you. If you understood how women loved you, trust would be a lot easier to build. Trust gets thrown out the window when a man doesn't get desired. They're like, what? She doesn't love me. She doesn't desire me. I don't trust her. There's got to be something going on. I felt the same freaking way all the time. I'm like, every time I'd smack my wife's butt and call her sexy, she'd call me a pervert. She never freaking desires me, right? I would always have this weird thinking. And it got me to have trust issues a lot. But after reading this book, right, that's where things changed. It was, wait a second. She does love me. She's always bringing me things. She's always doing acts of service. She's always giving me quality time. And if I did this for her, she shows me even more love. Wow. Light bulb moments there, folks. I'm telling you, this is going to be your game-changing moments for your fellas, is understanding just these 6 things in life that are very, very valuable. All right. So how do you integrate more trust? Well, reading that book would be a really good start. And conversations, ask questions that you have questions on. Having conversations and talking with people is really a good way to understand how to build more trust. You got to have conversations. So talking, reading that book, those are the 2 things I think are going to really help your relationships. Now, I'm going to take all of these methods and explain to you if you don't have a father, if you're not a father, and you're not building your relationships around your family, your friends, your community, I'm going to show you one. But let's get through these here. Now, H. What do you guys think H is? Let me know. Put it in the comments. Let me know, what do you think H is? Here, let me pop up some of these comments that are coming in. Precious says, 5 love languages, best book. It has helped me a lot, but I have also used it to train many youth in Uganda who have no father figures. Aha. Hey, good job there, Precious. We use the 5 love languages along with our other programs in developing relationships personally and professionally. I like that. All right, so let me know. What do you guys think H is? We've got 2 answers so far. Honesty, that's a good one. That's almost in trust a little bit. We've got honor. That's a really good trait that every father should have. That's definitely a good one. Humility is really good. These are also really good traits. I like it. This is a nice little session that kind of can play into a lot of different ways that fathers need to step up their game in their relationships with their kids, with their wives. Because you got to understand, your kids are watching what husband and wife do every day. That's their example, okay? You can tell them all day, hey, this is how you're supposed to treat a woman. Hey, this is how you're supposed to treat, this is how you're supposed to. You can talk them all day long, but they're going to be like, okay, so walk your talk. They're smart. They understand this stuff. They're going to tell it, walk your talk. Okay, well, you're going to tell me to do this, and you're doing this? Well, that makes no sense, right? So now you really confuse them. Now they just think you're BSing. Now they think, okay, so that obviously must not be the way to do it because you say to do this, but you end up doing this. I don't want to do that, so I'm not going to do that. Now you really fucked up, right? You got to understand, you got to walk the talk, my friends, if you're going to go and step into this game. So, all right, we got honesty, we got healing, we got hope. We've got some really good stuff here. Christina Rounds, healing, honesty, hope. These are good ones. But you guys are all incorrect. H is healing. My friends, you need to be the one that is providing the healing in your family. You can't always count on mama to bring the healing and daddy to be the one always being tough. That's not going to be good. In a fatherless home, you don't have healing. Mommy's got to carry all the burdens. And what ends up happening? The sons, the daughters, they don't have really much healing. They've got a lot of scars to deal with. In a fatherless home, we don't have healing. We don't have emotional support. We don't have what we think is needed in our lives. I mean, it could be the simple apology. I mean, this is one thing that I praise my dad on that nobody really knows about. You know, they hear the stories about my dad being, you know, a tough dad and being really hard. And I mean, there was even a thing where he made this paddle and he drilled holes in it. And that was used on, I saw him make the thing and then found out that that was going to be used on me. That was terrifying. But the one thing that gets me to know he has a heart is anytime there would be a situation where I had to get disciplined. Trust me, I was a bad kid. I do not give him any, you know, I don't know what we call it, any stripes against him. He's had a very bad life himself, way worse than I would have ever imagined. And the things he'd went through, some of that got passed on to me. And the thing that changed in the way I understood why he did it is after any time I would get disciplined, he'd come into my room, he'd sit down on my bed, and he would apologize. He would try to heal the men that he had just created. He wants to heal that scar. And I don't think anybody's ever heard that story before. It's a little hard for me to talk about it, but it's healing. And that is a big reason why I don't hold a lot of the stuff he did against me. Is he would come in after in that same moment and he would sit down and he would talk and he would explain and tell me, look, I can't have you doing this thing. I can't have you going this route. You can't be doing these things. And, you know, I had to discipline you, but I'm sorry, I apologize. And healing that creates is powerful. If you need to discipline your kids, you got to discipline them, but make sure healing is part of that discipline. It's a big, big factor. Don't just discipline, heal. And that could be as easy as healing with words. You don't have to be some magician and a doctor to be healing them, right? You don't have to be in that sense. You could be healing with just simple words. You could be healing by praying over your family, over dinner, and giving gratitude that you have your children in front of you and seeing them smile. I mean, just healing by giving them time, healing by giving them what you didn't have as a child growing up. So healing, all right? So we're talking about fatherless homes, people. This is the problem our community is not addressing. Our community doesn't seem to really care about. Our community doesn't seem to see that it's an actual problem, but it is. And it's something I want to bring attention to, and 6 solutions to this, where every one of you men watching right now can do these 6 things just a little bit more efficiently. Just pay attention to putting a little bit more effort into these areas. All right, so we've covered faith, attention, trust, healing, right? We are doing an acronym of the word father to understand what it means to be a good father. And what do you guys think emotion is? Let me know. What do you guys think the E stands for? Let me know. What do you think? Precious says, wow, powerful way he did it. It helps you receive the correction and still leaves you healed to not repeat any cycle. Yes, very, very powerful strategy that really changed the way I understood discipline, because most of the time these kids are getting spanked and you think, wow, I should know, right? I told them 100 times, they should know. But why did they do it the 100th time then? If they knew, then you're not doing something right. So look at it as a way to understand what it is that they need to be doing, why they need to be doing it, and if you have to discipline, heal. Put in that healing. All right, so what do you guys think? E, what do you guys think E stands for? J thinks E stands for empathy. You're really close. You're really close. That was almost there. E, what do you guys think? I'll give a couple more seconds for some of that to pop in. Looks like Christine also thinks it's empathy, but it's not. It's not empathy. What do you guys think? Empower. That's a really good one. I like that one, Jay. But that is not it. It is not empower. What do you guys think it is? E, 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 E. We've got F for faith. We've got A for attention. We've got T for trust, H for healing, and E. What is E? Ah, we have ourselves a winner. Precious. Yes. E is emotion. What do I mean by this? You got to show that it's okay to show emotions. That's one of the biggest things I think boys growing up, they think, gotta be tough, can't cry, gotta be tough, can't show any emotions, can't talk about my feelings. And then what happens? You grow up being a sheltered boy, growing up to be a man, can't talk about his feelings, can't have relationships, can't understand women, women can't understand you because you don't have emotion, right? For me, I grew up with women until I moved in with my dad at like seventh, eighth grade. I was raised nothing but women. There's nothing but women all around me. In high school, I had nothing but women around me. When my girlfriend, now wife, met me, I had nothing but girl friends. Like it was just nothing but, I was raised by women. And so I got to understand how they think, how they process emotions, right? How they look at the world in the way that they do. And it's not the way that men do. Men are very logical creatures. We look at black and white and we see that's black and that's white, right? It's simple as that. But women will look at it and be like, why did they paint it white and black? It would be a totally different thinking. And yet men don't understand that for the most part, especially ones who don't show emotion, right? When I got, I think, I don't know when it was, like the first time I cried in front of a woman, and I thought I was just so demasculated, and it was just like, oh, can't believe I just cried. Oh my God, ugh, right? And to see the response that it was not demasculating, it was opening up a conversation. It was getting an understanding. It was then taking that into a full-on conversation versus showing another guy, and I'm like, you little bitch. And then you go, right? That's not the answer, guys. Go talk to a woman if you need to go cry. It works, trust me. But showing more emotion and showing your kids that it's okay to have emotion, like talk in front of your spouse. Be okay to cry in front of them. Show them why you're sharing this message and how you do it. And you'll see that your kids will have no problem sharing their emotions, sharing why they feel the way they do. Because trust me, they're going through some shit right now as well. I mean, think about it. They're in this pandemic just as much as we are, right? They're sitting around walking. I mean, they've got to figure out what is going on. And they don't know. They have a lot of emotions. And yet, if we as men tell people to box our emotions up and not share them, not talk about them, put them away, lock them up, shove them away, and hide them, what do you think our kids are going to do? They're going to do the same thing. And why do you think we have kids committing suicide, kids on drugs at younger ages, kids having sex at younger ages? They don't have any emotional connection to their fathers that keep them from finding that emotion somewhere else. Some of you aren't ready for that conversation. Just saying. Okay, emotion. How do we bring more emotion back into what we are doing? Well, gotta just be real. You just gotta be real. You gotta have those conversations. You can't sit here thinking that you can hide from it and box it away and put it in, let your kids, talk to your kids about it. I mean, let them see your emotion. It's a lot easier to open up to them, I would assume. But don't put the burdens on them, of course, right? Think of it as, start small with the kids, of course. But you have stuff you have emotions over. Most men do. There's a lot of things you got to fight. There's a lot of things you got to put a shield over. How do you do that and still be open and still stay strong, right? My dad would do that. I mean, he would fight it. He'd cry, but it would be, you know, in pain and showing why that pain caused that pain and what do we need to do about that pain. So very strong. R, what does father? We're going to wrap this up. R, what does that mean? All right, give me your R's. What do you guys think the R is? I want to know. Let me know. We had faith. Let me kind of recap these for you guys. Our first one of the day, F equals faith, right? We are talking about fatherless homes in case you guys are just hopping in. This is the topic that nobody seems to want to talk about. Nobody seems to want to bring a solution to. Well, Manny has to do it all, I guess. I got to do everything. Now, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of great solutions out there. I'm just not seeing them. I'm not seeing where are they at. So I'm going to bring them to you. Maybe you guys can start spreading this message, share this message, get this message out there. Let other people know what needs to be done. We're walking into Father's Day this weekend, and most fathers have no clue what is it that they're doing. They're just waiting for that little Father's Day mug to go sit on the couch, drink a beer, and tell their kids to leave them alone. That's not the fatherly thing to do. So you got to bring in more faith, right? You got to pay more attention. You got to instill trust in your family. You got to have more healing. Be the one that is providing healing. You got to have more emotion. And what is R? What do you guys think R is? Let me know. John Fuller, right off the bat, swinging with a knock him out of the park with respect. Yes, my friends, R is respect. And this is, I'm flipping this around on you, okay? So for men, most of you men demand respect. I'm the man of the house. I'm the provider. You shall respect me. Respect yourself, okay? Respect means you give respect. You earn respect. You provide how to give respect. You don't demand it. You earn the respect, right? When I go out and about and I'm bringing my kids with me, they know what respect means. They've seen me do it 1,000 times when I'm out meeting people. I'm sitting at dinner with people. They see how I act. They see how I interact with other people, how I show them respect, regardless if they're a millionaire or billionaire or they're a janitor. There's no difference. I've lost relationships because people thought that they demanded respect because of who they thought they were. And I will cut them down to size very quickly. I have no problem with that. The concept for me is to show my kids the example of respect. It's not to have a freaking high chin and expect respect. If you expect respect, you don't deserve respect. That's just my expectations on that one. That was a good one there. So how do you do this? What does it mean by getting more respect, being more in that respectable mentality? Well, it's being that example. It's really straight and simple. You cannot grow a family in a respectable manner if you don't be respectable yourself. My kids, I get this all the time. They go out into public, they're out at events, and people come up to me, Manny, oh my God, your kids are so respectable. Wow, they have so much respect. They're so well behaved. Da, da, da. I'm like, thank you. I appreciate that. That's my wifey's parenting right there. And us being that example of respect. We don't treat anybody differently. We're not sitting there and being like, oh, that person's not of my value. No, like, no. It's just like you have to show them that everybody is equal, regardless of your age, regardless of your race, regardless of your ethnicity, regardless of your backgrounds, regardless of anything. I treat homeless people just as respectable as I treat the millionaires and billionaires I'm sitting down with. It just doesn't any difference. If you want to treat them differently, then I know that's not the type of person I want in my community. It's not the type of person I'm going to have in my community. That's the person that gets right on my blacklist. Very simple. Pow. Goodbye. Let's see what some of these people have been talking about here. So Precious says, it takes strong and stable man to be emotional. Such vulnerability stabilizes his boy child. That's one of the things that we got to stop getting out of that mentality that, you know, we got to be so strong and like, no, we don't have to. You can be strong and still be emotional. As influencers and leaders, we give everyone a 10 with respect, but we start at 0 and we must earn the 10. I like the way you put that there, Jay. That's a really good way to analogize that. So thank you for that. So that is my message for you today, my friends. I want you to understand fatherless homes is where we are losing. If we can understand how to get out of our heads with thinking of race is the problem or police brutality is the problem that we need to all solve. Like, yes, there are systematic problems in every single one of the areas of our society, in corporate, in jobs, in working. It doesn't matter what way of life. You're not going to solve it with legislation. You can't love with legislation. You have to love and change by building the right type of character around your society. That's as simple as that. Now, let's say you don't have a father. Maybe you are on the one that says, look, I've never had a father figure. I've never had somebody I could look up to. I don't have somebody that I can show them this video and get them to instill more of these 6 qualities. Where do I find these? Let me read something to you. So I got this little strength and dignity little notepad. I make all my notes in here. And every day there's a little scripture at the bottom, some random scripture of the day. And so today, for my notes, today's scripture says, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old is gone, the new has come. That's 2 Corinthians 5:17. You want to look that one up. But here's what that means. Your father can be your spiritual father. It doesn't always have to be the physical, right? We are given instructions of life in the Bible, the book of life, whatever you want to call it. In there, the instructions of how to build a non-fatherless community is right there. It's very easy to understand. So God gives us the example of what a physical father, so you can see the example, because remember, we need to see it to believe it. God knows that. He's given us free will. So many people ask me, Manny, why do bad things happen in this world? Why do bad things happen? If you guys just read the Bible, you know the answer. But most won't read it. So I'll give you the answer. 2 words. Free will. It's that simple. God gave us the choice to love him, to follow him, to believe in him, or the choice not to. Think about this. If your life was completely destined to be, you had no choice in the matter, what's the point of living a human life? Why would God create you to just live a scenario that's already played out? He has a purpose for you. But most people die without discovering that purpose. Most people go to their graves dreaming they wish they would have taken action on the purpose that they felt they were driven to do, but they were too afraid to do it. They kept living a fatherless life. They lived a life that did not help them pursue what they were trying to pursue. They took all 6 of these things and they threw it out the window. Think about it. They took faith and they threw it out the window. They took attention to that purpose and they threw it out the window. They took trust in God and they threw it out the window. They took all of his healing that he was giving you and they threw it out the window. They took all of the emotion that he had given you to drive other people's purpose. You can change lives with emotion, and you threw it out the window. And all respect for yourself and your fellow man, threw it out the window. We can't do that. We have to live not only our physical life with our fathers, but our spiritual life. If you don't have both, you have neither. Because trust me, you can't live a joyful life. You cannot be too blessed to be stressed if you do not have your spiritual father in tune. You don't even need a physical one, right? You don't need one. You could have just your spiritual father alone with those 6 qualities that you focus on. He has all of those for you, every single one of them. Now, the reason bad things happen is because of free will. It's that simple. We have our life on this planet to choose which route we want to go. Will we go the easy route and live in lust and ego and chaos? That's what they want. This is what the mean one wants. He's reveling right now in all of this chaos. Or will you go the hard route of actually building your character strong enough to be able to receive what it is God has planned for you? Now, I am no preacher. I am no saint. I have more sins on me than most of you watching right now. But what I know is God does not care of your sins. There's no checklist that you need to check off to have his love. There's nothing you need to do to earn it. You've already received it. All you have to do is recognize it. That's so simple. And yet people want to confuse it. Like, I saw somebody over the weekend who literally compared me to the devil. I was like, wow, that's an interesting analogy right there. How did you get to that thinking? And she responds with, oh, the devil, it's not even that bad. You're reading it all wrong. The whole purpose to kill, to destroy, to cause chaos. Somehow that's good in somebody's eyes. That's the warped reality that some of the people on this planet are living in, that they are thinking chaos, lust, ego, murder, death, destruction is somehow good for the world. We need this. We need more of it. That's going to save us. What? Where in the mother chucking right minds do you possibly think that? I don't know, man. That threw me for a loop right there. And it just got me thinking, like, we are just so confused. We are so confused as a society to truly think what it is that we can do and how we are going to bring solution to it. The solution is simple, is examples. Example after example after example of the truth. You know, this person is new in business, I would assume, hasn't really talked to people about real success. And I talk to people every day. I talk to people that sustain success over decades. And it always has a common denominator. And trust me, faith is one of the biggest things that sustains success. When you decide to start living your purpose and stop living what you lustfully want, you'll understand that God has such a bigger plan for you. You're over here thinking, oh man, I want to make this big money. I want to make this. I want to do all these big things over here. Man, I'm going to make balling. I'm going to be cash rolling. Da, 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 da. Then you find out once you've actually lived your purpose, you got 10 times more than you ever thought you would even think was possible. And it wasn't for an egotistical means. You actually were able to serve a purpose that helped people and not hurt people. I don't know. There's a lot I could talk about on this subject, but I think for what we really need to understand for this week is really understanding the effects of fatherless homes. Please look in the statistics, look into what it's doing to your own communities, and look what it's already done to our society. When we take our fathers, whether spiritual or physical, away from our society and our communities, it only breeds chaos. We solve it with those 6 solutions. Every man can step up, build more character, provide more to your community, stop providing for just yourself and your ego. And we're going to change the world together, guys. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you. If you have any questions on any of this that I've shared today, you see my cell phone number right there. Just shoot me a text, and I'm more than happy to respond to you personally. I am the personal one that answers all of these text messages. So send me a text. I'm here to help. I'm here to serve. Always remember, you are too blessed to be stressed, and go serve your way to success. Deuces.